families who couldn't make it, so I can send it out to them. So they'll just have to, listen to me. Thank you all for coming. I can't believe it's September already. I don't know where summer went, but we're getting ready to kick off another year of Faith Formation, and I just wanted to do an overview, kind of give you an idea how the year will run, answer any questions you might have right now. And then just, we'll start official classes next week. Real quick, at the very end, if you have an 8th or 9th grader that's confirmation, feel free to stay. I'm gonna do like a little extra spiel that's just really for confirmation families. Not everyone else needs to hear that. And same thing for First Communion families. My amazing catechists for 2nd grade just wants to meet with you guys quickly. So everyone else can be dismissed, but if you have someone in those 2 sacramental programs, if you could stay a little bit, and then we'll get you out also. So I've been here just about a year now. Actually, last week officially a year. It seems crazy to me, but just so I think if you've been in programs with me before, really my mission that I feel like is Faith Formation is to make people, for your kids to fall in love with Jesus and fall in love with their faith at whatever age they're at, and begin that lifelong journey of having a relationship with Him and having a solid foundation of church to rely on when things are hard or when they need it. So we really strive to make sure that they're learning the faith in fun, age-appropriate, meaningful ways, and also realizing that one size does not fit all. So I always tell families, if for whatever reason you're like, this isn't working, or I don't know, or it's becoming a struggle, reach out to me, because the last thing I ever want kids to do is feel like faith classes is something they have to do. I want them to feel like this is something I get to do, I want to do. And so we work really hard to make that happen, but if it's becoming a struggle, you can always reach out to me. That's why I'm here all the time, is so that I'm available as a resource for you also. I kind of came in very quickly into the program year last year, so just a little bit about me. If you're like, who is this person, and why am I trusting the Faith Formation and my children to them? So my last name is pronounced like Waco, Texas. My husband is from Auburn, which is why I ended up here. I'm originally from the Buffalo Diocese. I grew up there. I started as a youth minister out there, first as a volunteer, running week-long retreats with 60 teenagers. I learned how to live on very little sleep during that time of my life. And then I moved to the Rochester Diocese, where I was getting my first master's degree, and then just really felt called to do this full time. So got my second master's. So I have a master's in theology and a master's in public administration. So sadly, my mom's like, you couldn't figure this out before the first master's degree? No. And like I said, so I've been doing ministry since I was, I think, 20 years. It'll be my 20th anniversary next year, which seems insane to me that I've been doing ministry at some level that long. So with that, I've probably seen it all, heard it all, been through it all at this point. So never feel like you can't come to me and say, hey, this is going on, or this is a struggle, because one of the things I really want to be is a resource for you throughout, and even when things are going well, and if something is going on that you're like, hey, this could affect the class, just let me know that. It's just always better to know, and if it can stay between us, I can let the teacher know if you want me to, so just remember that. All right, so our program values, like I was saying, these are 3 things that I think I've been using for forever in ministry. We just ask that your kids come with openness to experience what we're asking them to learn more. Honesty, being honest about their questions. Love the questions is one of my most important things. We can't help them figure it out if we don't know what they're asking, right? So I always tell you, we have something that I lovingly call the Miss Vicky card. Because sometimes they'll ask a theological question that you have no clue where it came from. Or where is that coming from? Because that's not even what we're doing right now. And if you don't know, I always say you can say, let's email Miss Vicky. Or when we see Father Brian or Miss Vicky, why don't you ask them that? Because I want to give you all the tools you can to help in your own homes, but if there's something that you're like, I am not equipped for this, you can always use the Miss Vicky card. But we do really encourage, especially confirmation, a lot of questions. these are the spaces that they are allowed to ask those questions to feel like they're learning more. So, in consideration, just, consider of each other, of course, and just of the program and the teachers and all of that. So, you can have 10 million rules. I just feel like these kind of, for me, have always been the things I go back to, is these are the things we want to instill. Next up, all of the routines, program, nitty-gritty details. So for arrival starting next week, you'll sign in downstairs where a lot of people come in the covered area, the West Austin Street entrance. And we'll have sign-up sheets down there, and from there you're welcome to walk your child to class. Downstairs will be pre-K, second grade, 6th and 7th and 8th grade, and then upstairs in this hallway will be the rest of the grade levels. For dismissal, this might be a little different next week because we also have the chicken barbecue going on. But traditionally, dismissal will be from this room, just because with the second mass starting, it can get a little crazy in our parking lot. So that's why you can use this back door, you can come right in that way, exit that way. Or if you are going to mass, you can head up right into mass too, if you're going to the 10:15 mass. If you have, because we have like 8th graders at the same time, if you're like, my 8th grader is going to walk with my little kids, this week I'm going to send you a walker carpool form. Just note that so I can let the teacher know, like, no, it's okay, they know this is the plan for that family. And if something changes in that, like all of a sudden you're like, hey, grandma's helping out for the next couple of weeks, just let me know that so when I see someone walk in that doesn't look familiar, I'm not like, why are you here right now? Like, what are you doing here? And because we just want to make sure your kids are safe also with that part. So that's arrival, dismissal. Class starts at 9. You can sign in anytime after the 8 o'clock mass. If you need to be, drop off a little early, that's totally fine. And we'll end at 10. And we're trying to start as close to 9 a.m. with the class as possible, just because it's very limited time we're getting with, so we're trying to use that hour to the fullest amount that we can. Next thing, this one's just a real easy one. Please don't share germs. If your child is sick, I totally understand not wanting to miss class, but we don't need germs being spread through face formation classes. So if your child is not feeling well, is sick, let them stay home, email us, and I can connect you if you're not already connected to their teacher to figure out what they have to do to make it up. But please, no germs. Just a safety thing, all the classroom doors are locked, so like the teacher can get out. I have a key to them all, but just for safety's sake, once class starts, we close the doors and they're locked. So if you need to do like an early pickup, you'll just have to find me to like let you in to like go get your child. But that's just a safety thing we have in place. Bad weather closing. So because we have classes always on Sunday, the best way is either through Spectrum 1, the little scrolling thingamajig on the bottom of the screen, or also in the Remind groups, which we'll talk a little bit more about. Those groups I'm not going to use like every week. I'm not going to use them to send out just random things. They're really for like last minute updates and or like weather things, just as a quick way. Also from that, I live in Weedsport, which is a little, like not far from here, but the weather can be very different between Skinny Atlas and Weedsport some days. So if it's Saturday night and you're like, there's a lot of snow, feel free, like never feel like you're bothering me to shoot me an email or text me like, hey, the weather's really not looking good, because honestly, it could be fine where I'm at and I might not have any idea that I'm about to like drive into a snowstorm over here. So never feel like you're bothering me with that kind of stuff. I'd rather you have more like real-time data than I do in those situations. And then the other thing with weather is, I know like some of you are coming from farther places or closer. If it's bad where you are, just let me know. Like I trust you, it's your child. So if you're like, I don't feel comfortable driving, do what is best for you and where you are. And just let me know. That's totally fine, but I totally get that weather can be very different depending on where you are. Programs. So we use a couple different programs. So majority of the grades will be using what is called Flom Gospel Weekly. Those, what I love about them is they always connect to the Sunday gospel. So when they come into class next week, their lesson will tie to what is happening in the gospel. For off weeks, the teachers will send home the extra flyers. So they're not mandatory, but it's a really great, easy thing for your child to do on off weeks just to continue like connecting to the gospel. The caveats are kindergarten, we use stories of God's love, which is it's just perfect for kindergarten. I don't like, there's just no other program that I found that works as well. So you won't get flyers being sent home, but it's just a really wonderful way for like the littles to learn about God. And then second grade, of course, is a sacrament year. So we use what's called God's Gift, which is from Loyola Press, and they do a reconciliation book, a First Communion book. And I've used that every parish I've been at because it's just a really wonderful, I think, age-appropriate way to talk about those sacraments. But every other grade, when you see those like flyer things come home, that's what they are. They're the Gospel Weeklies. Okay, new this year are playlists. So you guys got a handout. The idea of a playlist basically is a way to engage in faith in multitudes of ways. So it's kind of a multimedia playlist. So in each one, this year we're doing All Saints, and I try to find saints that tie to certain months or certain themes. And on it you'll find there are scripture readings about that go along with that saint, or like ones that they really loved. There are like little video, like story time for different ages about that saint. There are like activities they can do, either like coloring pages or things online they can do. There's prayers you can say. And then there's some extra like adulty more stuff about that saint too at the very bottom. So it's just a way, every month in my weekly email I'll give you some blurb about that saint. But like for example in December we have St. Nicholas. So if your kid's asking questions about St. Nicholas, you can just pull up the playlist and be like, let's watch a little video, or let's listen to a song, or let's do, you know, this prayer or this activity. And some of them do have service ideas on them that you can do as a family. So if you're looking for a way to like do a little service with your kids, especially youngers, it gives you some easy ideas of things you can do with them too each month. And those are all uploaded right now. I will say in March I did St. Joseph's because it's Joseph's Day, but I also did do a St. Patrick's one. I just finished it, so which is really cute and has some really fun like hymns and songs about St. Patrick. Okay, this is going to go to confirmation. I'll do that at the end. The last thing is special events, and this is where the next week's pickup might be a little different. I'm waiting to find out where they're setting up the chicken barbecue pits, because I do not want you having to walk with your kids anywhere near a hot fire chicken barbecue pit. So I hopefully will know that tomorrow when I meet with our maintenance person. So pickup next week might be different only because of safety concerns with there being a live flame for the chicken barbecue. But if you get hungry after 10:15 Mass, there's chicken barbecue here. October, we're going to do a blessing of the pets after the 10:15 Mass. That should be really fun. And then I'm very excited for the trunk or treat. So we'll have it either set up in this back lot plus some activities in here, or depending on weather, we might have tables set up instead of like actual trunks. But each station will also have a saint connected to it to tie in All Saints Day coming up. So just a fun way to mix faith and, you know, traditional season. But those are all the different things we have coming up. And there might be more, so I just wanted to give it to you early so you could kind of plan your calendar if you want to. Okay, and then all the handouts. So you all should have a list of all the dates, a playlist sheet, and then if you have someone that's in pre-K through 7th grade, this is the how to get into the Remind group for that age. I also will send out like a reminder link, but just in case you want to do it sooner than later. The First Communion, and First Reconciliation, just details, plus the additional like meeting dates for that are in this handout if you're a First Communion family. And then if you're in confirmation, their Remind group plus their extra info. So, those are all the handouts you should have. And then, if anyone is still interested, I've been reaching out to people who have said they wanted to volunteer via email, but if it's something you're like, I could do something, I don't know what, let me know. The biggest thing, of course, for adults is you need to do the safe environment training, but I can help you find those dates and stuff, but I'm always looking for extra hands, even helping with mailings or, you know, helping with these special events, so just let me know. And I will add you to my help needed call list with no problem, trust me. And then the last thing is the family handbook. I emailed that out. It's pretty basic. A lot of the information we went over today is in there. So if you're like, wait, what did they say about dismissal or emergencies? It's all in that handbook too. So you can always refer back to that. And it is up on our website because when my stepkids were little, I said paper disappeared in our house a lot. Like magically the thing that was really important became the sheet that they would color on. It just was like without fail. So I always try to back up any forms for you digitally on the website too. That way if you're like, where did that thing go? You can find it again pretty easily. With that, this is just how we stay connected. So I do send out a weekly email just for upcoming reminders, any pertinent information from the parish that you might need, and like reminders if there's schedule changes or any of that. The remind text, like I said, that is really more, you can always text me if you have questions through that, but I really, like, you will not get spam with 10 million text messages from me, I promise. It's just really a more emergency-based type system for us. And then of course follow us on social. Gretchen does a great job at putting up really nice prayer ideas and just reminders from the parish too. So she works really hard at that. Those are the standing if you want to join the Remind group, so I'll leave those up. But any questions that you guys have right now? Yeah.
Just regarding drop off and dismissal, are the kids allowed to be dropped off and then walk out, or do the parents come in and then come back in and pick them up?
You can, if you have older kids and they like, you can drop them off at the door and walk in and they feel comfortable, you can absolutely just have them walk in. Sometimes, especially for the littles, they really like having, especially, and then sometimes like after a couple of weeks, they'll just like run past you and be like, all right, mom, I'm gone. But especially at the beginning to build that routine in, it's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Perfect. If you guys have any other questions that like, you're like, I don't want to say it in front of the whole group, I do have like a yellow sheet there. You can just put them on there and just put your name down so I know like who to call or email back with the information. Or if it's something that, oh, that's something everyone should know, I'll do it in the next major like weekly email. With that, if you do, I'm going to have our catechists who are here stand up and introduce themselves.
Hi, Melody Notable, so I'm going to do First Communion. So I've been doing it for quite a few years, so looking forward to it. Graduation, so if you parents that I taught their kids, so I don't know if you wanted to get together on
Yep. I'll let everyone introduce and then we'll dismiss and then divide and conquer.
Hi, I know a lot of you. I'm Mary Jo Haupt. I teach kindergarten. Love it.
Good morning, David Warrow. I teach Confirmation 1.
Hi, I'm Zess Doherty. I'm new to the parish. I just moved from another church where I taught 1st through 8th grade. I'll be teaching 1st grade here. So if you have a 1st grader and you want to talk to me about anything, feel free to come find me.
And then we're really excited. I have actually 2 former confirmation kids who are coming back to teach. So one of them is India. She'll be teaching pre-K. She'll be fabulous with them. And then Samantha will be helping with 3rd grade until Miss B comes back in the winter time. She just can't do the fall because she has another job. So super excited to have them also joining the team after confirmation. All right, with that, if you do not have a 8th, 9th grader or a 2nd grader, you can head out. My 2nd grade families think, are you okay being over there with you? And then my 8th, 9th families want to come over here, and we can do a little bit more like sacramental stuff.